The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
They gave me my theme music!
This is a Planet Fanatics production.
What's up and what's going on, fellow fanatics? Appreciate those that are here. I know it's very late, so we're going to give some people a few minutes to get in here so we can discuss everything with you guys. Today was definitely a big day for Marvel. They had the Marvels, obviously. Some anticipated, highly anticipated for some, as you can tell from the box office, not so much from others, and we're going to get into everything for that. We're also going to discuss the Loki Season 2 finale and everything with that, and just what some of this stuff means for the implications of the future of the MCU. We're going to try to get through it a little bit quickly because it is so late. We do not have as much time as we would like to have with everyone, but myself and Q will be streaming with you guys tomorrow, so we'll dive a little bit more in depth. But as far as tonight goes, we don't have a lot of time, so we are going to jump in, and I'll let Corey go first on her thoughts on your overall thoughts on the Marvels.
Oh, great. I have notes. I'm just going to go with like my top 3 or 4 here, but starting with my pros, the first thing I put down was Monica Rambeau. I thought she was amazing. I kind of wish she did have more screen time, but I love everything that Tiana executed with her. I thought she was brilliant. I thought she was beautiful. I thought she was funny. I was cracking up the whole time. When she had the 2 drinks in her hands, like the whole time I was cracking up at just the little things that she had. My other one was the effects in cinema. I thought it was very beautiful, very detailed, very, even though it was dark, it was very accentual. You can definitely see everything that you needed to see, the details and the time looping and the different dimensions coming apart. Also, I really love, I don't know if I'm going to say her name right, but Zaw Ashton, who played Darvin. I thought she was fucking fantastic. And low-key kind of hot in a villain way. Like, I would have followed her. She would have gotten me bad. But yeah, amazing acting, amazing looks. And then cons, I don't really know how I feel about the musical moment. That was a little off for me, and I don't know what to expect of that. And the cat licking part was a little much for me. I was not expecting that to be a whole scene, but other than that, I really liked it. I rated it an 8 out of 10, and I would definitely watch it again once it's on Disney Plus. So,
Q, what were your thoughts on the Marvels?
I mean, I would definitely say that if I could go back in time, I would probably I would slap the shit out of myself. I had fun. I went in there, I had fun. I enjoyed almost everything about it. I don't really have any cons, if I'm being honest. A lot of people thought the movie being shorter would be an issue due to how Marvel's been pacing things usually, but the timing wasn't an issue, the pace wasn't an issue. The movie was fun. The plot of it was straight. It got to the plot, didn't really steer off it that much, didn't really go into too many of what I didn't want it to be was her going into Miss Marvel's family and doing all this stuff with her, and then going and just showing too much of Monica Rambeau's, how she became her from. I just didn't want that. They didn't give us any of that. I thought the team chemistry would be a little weird with all them being together for the first time. It wasn't weird. It was. I thought I would be annoyed by Mon Finale fanning out over shit. I wasn't annoyed by it. It was shit she said, the shit she did. It was timely. I don't really have any complaints. I'd go pay to see it again, not just wait for it on Marvel and everything. If you hate Brie Larson, I shit, genuinely couldn't see why
Right.
if you went and watched
Right.
this movie. I
It was a good
mean,
one.
even from the moments of where you're getting the hard-headed Captain Marvel of I can do it and I'm gonna do it and I can do that. That's who she is. I mean, I didn't really shit. The only issue I had, I told you, that seductive ass cat scene when that nigga posed and turned around and looked at me in the eye and then started, bro. I was just like, that is crazy. But overall, I mean, I can't think of a better movie that's came out since No Way Home.
Right.
If I'm being honest, I think it deserves a lot more money than it's gonna get. I told you after the movie I'd understand if this one made $1 billion, because to this day I don't know how the first one did, and so shit. If the first one did, I wouldn't see how this one wouldn't, because I mean Monica was there, Miss Marvel was there, Captain Marvel, even Fury. Fury was better than in fucking Secret Invasion in my opinion. Just I don't know. Every element I liked it. Family fun, the action sequences, the camera angles when that little fight, from even when they released that fight, that scene,
Yeah.
even just the angles during that one, it was, I don't know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not too many complaints at all.
Yeah. I would have to say, for me, as we all know, when we discuss Marvel, when we discuss the current phases of Marvel and everything like that, it is never in a kind matter. It hasn't been since Endgame. For some people, it hasn't been since Endgame. For others, there have been gems within phases 4 and 5. For others, it has just been completely dead. For myself, I have found gems within phases 4 and 5. Have I enjoyed phases 4 and 5? Fuck no. But have I found gems within those? I have. There are series that I enjoy as far as WandaVision and Loki are concerned, and I believe it stops there for me. And as far as the movies go, again, there are gems like Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Guardians 3, and honestly, the Marvels is added in the gems for me personally that are in phases 4 and 5. And the reason I say that is because I go back to what I said from the very beginning. If you go back to what I said from the top of this, it's the Marvels originally, and I'm not saying it is now, originally was on my most anticipated list. It quickly died down once we read the plot leak for this film. And not just the plot leak for this film, but all of the other terrible things that Marvel has been going through that adds up and that takes away the anticipation for upcoming projects, whether it be that project's doing or other projects doing, to dampen your anticipation for an upcoming project. So for me personally, it was on my most anticipated list. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that it was, because I have not spoken kindly about the Marvels when it comes to their box office. That is what we've discussed. Anytime we've discussed the Marvels, we've discussed their box office. We've discussed what numbers have come out. We've discussed the things that critics have said, that reviewers, and things like that. Now, as Q pointed out, I want to say 2 streams ago, we've never over here said that the film was not going to be good, because as I pointed out at the top of my review here, it was at one point on my most anticipated list. So we never said the film wasn't going to be good. We just discussed the numbers and the realisms, which we saw tonight in our empty theater. The realisms of what the film was going to produce as far as Marvel standards go, as a box office, as things like that. And again, from our empty theater, and I'm sure other empty theaters from people that have watched, and you can come on here and say that your theater was full. It wasn't. And again, that's no hate. That's no hate. I'm just telling you it wasn't. I wasn't there, but I know it wasn't. It wasn't marketed well due to the strike. We know that, and the strike is now over. There were comments that director Nia DaCosta made that rubbed people the wrong way, but then she cleared those comments up in the newest Variety interview that she did and things like that. There were a lot of things that were stacked against it. Again, the hate toward Brie Larson, which again, after watching tonight, I do not understand the hate toward Brie Larson. I never understood it from the beginning, but after tonight, I really don't understand the negativity that is sprayed and spewed toward Brie Larson. But as far as the film overall goes, I thought that this film was fun. I thought the action sequences were great. I thought that the one of the things I criticized from the very beginning from that plot leak was that fucking dance number scene.
I didn't mind it.
I just did not care for it.
I didn't care for it, but
it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad, but
even
still,
at first,
it's not necessary.
I was kind of like, but then whenever she was like, their language is song, I was like, out of all the universes, worlds,
There's
I
that's a
believe
possibility.
It.
It
I
is
was
a
like,
possibility.
I believe it. So I mean,
It was real.
it
It
wasn't
was-
as bad
yeah.
as the goo and shit off Quantum.
That's what I'm getting to here too. So to sum this up here, you had Black Widow, we've had Shang-Chi, we've had Eternals, we've had Spider-Man No Way Home, we've had Doctor Strange 2, we've had Thor: Love and Thunder, we've had Black Panther 2, and I think that's it.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 3. For me personally, it's better than Black Widow. It's better than Eternals for me. It's better than Love and Thunder. It's better than Forever. It is a good film.
Say the next one. It's better than.
It wasn't better than Multiverse Madness for me.
It was.
Not for
It
me.
was.
Not for me. I
It was.
love Wanda. I loved
Multiverse
everything with
Madness.
Wanda.
One of my gems.
I'm not lying. This movie, I'm a Doctor Strange fan. That hate I have for that movie, this movie was better.
I really, and then not only
Bro,
the
way
things
they
with
did, the way they did Monica phasing through shit, top two.
Yeah.
Top two stunts.
and like I said, it's
Not
not.
gonna
It
lie.
wasn't just Captain Marvel. Like it wasn't. Amon Benali did a fantastic job in this
Yeah,
film.
she really
I
did.
thought she was, in my opinion, the star. Honestly, there were moments that she had. I like the fact that it didn't. If you didn't watch Ms. Marvel, you really didn't miss out on much. But I like the fact that if you did watch Ms. Marvel, the animated beginning
That shit was- yeah.
felt
I
like
thought-
Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, there was a
Uh,
moment where we.
Everything felt. It felt like. Yeah, we watched Ms. Marvel a while ago. What was that, like last year sometime? It felt like we didn't really miss a beat coming into
But
this
shit,
with
that
this.
was the best part about Miss
Yeah.
Marvel too. way
Was
they
the
animated
animation
But
shit.
yeah,
part.
that's what I was saying. I felt like we kind of stepped back from like, oh, the Marvels movie, and kind of went back into her world.
Yeah.
And that felt.
And we did. They did a great job with Ms. Marvel. With
So-
Amon Benali.
No encouragement.
I'll get to that in a second. As far as Tiana Paris goes, as far as what they did with Photon, I thought that. I remember when we discussed the plot leak, a lot of us in the chat, and myself included, were saying like, "Oh, it sounds like they're going to nerf Monica. It sounds like they're not really going to give a lot of respect to Monica." Understanding. Well, not really putting forth the understanding then that this is a 3-hero led film. You've got Ms. Marvel, you've got Captain Marvel, and you've got Photon, and Monica. I thought Monica got enough. I thought she got great screen time.
More than enough.
Yeah, more than enough.
In
I
my
thought-
opinion,
Really?
they
I
showcased
really-
her as the smartest one there.
Yeah.
She
Oh
was,
yeah,
She-
I mean,
they
don't get me
definitely
wrong.
highlighted her.
I felt like
She was definitely
anytime
highlighted.
she had the screen, like she killed it. But I just kind of wanted a little more.
I honestly loved it. I thought they killed it with her. And the reason I say I thought they killed it with her is because this is our first time seeing her since WandaVision, and our first time seeing her since WandaVision. We were seeing her phase through things. We were seeing her, the power set that she had, especially at the end there when she really went full on. Captain Marvel. That shit, it was just dope. It was dope. I thought they did a really good job. I thought the film was fun. I had a good time, and it is definitely something that has rewatchability on Disney Plus, for sure. The unfortunate reality, back on the reality of it, the unfortunate reality of it is it's not going to do well in the box office at all. Now, when it hits Disney Plus, do I think that there are going to be a lot of people that watch it and it's going to get a lot of first, views on Disney? Yeah, of course, because the word of mouth and things like that. Especially once that's something I do want to say too, because we don't have a lot of time, but let's discuss that now. The post-credit scene. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear it, I mean, you should know that coming into this, but seeing these shocked expressions, or hearing the shocked expressions from people, because we saw the post-credit scene. Well, Q, I don't think you did,
No.
but myself and Q saw it. Was it yesterday or day before? Day before, something like that. Saw it then. So, we've talked about that scene. We all knew that scene was going to be in it. So it was just, I love seeing it after talking about it, like actually seeing it happen. But hearing the expressions. So once that post-credit scene, word of mouth, gets around that, oh my gosh, this is the X-Men, and that was Kelsey Grammer's Beast, and now we've got Binary and Maria Rambeau.
Shit, G said Charles.
Yeah, Charles's
Right.
name was mentioned. We now know that that is the Fox X-Men universe, that the events of this film are going to bleed into Deadpool. It anticipates the hype. So I think that once that goes around, could it be a possibility maybe second weekend, third weekend, we see a surge in ticket sales for the Marvels?
I wouldn't be surprised.
If I could do anything about it, I definitely would. I'd tell everyone to watch it. Like I
would, honestly.
I already had like 4 or 5 people ask me. I said, I told Javon go watch it. I told Ricardo's good. He's already going to watch it. I'm already telling niggas like,
Yeah.
because people ask me like, shit, do I put money towards this? I'm like, no, don't put money towards that. But this, I'm like, yeah, no. Even when I was buying a ticket, I was like, I shouldn't have bought a ticket. But then, like, shit, I don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind. I had fun. I paid $18, $20 to go have fun.
And this was the first time in a Marvel film since Guardians, we all knew, but I really don't like including Guardians in that because I felt like going into Guardians, we all knew
Like-
what Guardians was going to be
Yeah.
outside of phases 4 and 5's other bullshit. So and it was better than Quantumania. Quantumania, that's the other one. That shit is so much better than that. I thought that the things that they did there, everything, it was good. It was a good film. It was short, sweet, to the point. Didn't I thought I know you said you liked Darvin. I think Darvin was a shit villain, but I understand what they were trying to do. It was the purpose of her doing what she was doing was just to establish the whole.
I thought she portrayed it well.
No, I thought she portrayed it well. The actress did fine. I just think Darvin's just a shit villain.
No. Because the way I'm looking at him, like this, did we not just watch Captain Marvel go one-on-one with Thanos? Now this bitch need help against Darvin, and no.
Yeah.
No.
It was great though. Like I said, the action sequences were, especially when they learned how to fight while switching.
Yeah.
When
was
that
really
last
good.
action sequence there with Darvin, that was really good. It was really good. What else about it? The post.
Caton.
Yeah, Caton
And
and
the
Caton
movie.
Marvel.
Yep.
Kate
Miss
Kamala.
Marvel. Kate
Who
Kamala.
did she say has a son? When she was like, "Do you know blank has a son?" I didn't hear.
No, she said Ant-Man has a daughter.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Cassie, so just the people we've been talking
Yeah.
about joining the Young Avengers, and see this again goes. If you've been here, I always like to say this when we are accurate in the leaks that we cover and things like
Right.
that. I always like to say if you've been here from when we've been covering this, and this hasn't been for the past 3 months. We've been covering this plot leak. This plot leak's been out for a little over a year, so we've been covering this for a while now. Now the stuff in the post credit scene, not her waking up to her mother, but Beast and being added, as you can see. You look at the CGI that they did there on Kelsey Grammer, you can tell that this was never Kelsey Grammer being in that was never something that was supposed to be. And I actually wanted to show this here. This is from Kelsey Grammer. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I put this out there because I said this the last time we talked about the Marvels in the post-credit scene, and we talked about Kelsey Grammer showing up as Beast and this being kind of something that was new. If you remember, before that was even come out that he was going to show up in the Marvels as Beast in the post-credit scene, Kelsey Grammer had come out and said that he would love to reprise his role in whatever they're doing in the MCU. He says, I see all these people coming back. I want to come back. That was the quote from Kelsey Grammer. So here recently, he just got asked about that. And I wanted to play that for everybody, for some people here that might not have seen that. Let me see. Here it is here. What?
Love that character, and I wanted to do more of it. I love that character, and I want.
The thing with Marvel nowadays is multiverse and bringing back
Right.
other characters. We know
Right.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. Has that been a thing brought up?
It hasn't been brought up, but you know what? I'm going to bring it up because honestly, I love that character, and I wanted to do more of it. I found out they were going to go back in time to my time that I was in. I called and said, "Look, I really want to be in it. There is nothing I would rather do than reprise that role. I love that role. It's the greatest role in the world."
Let's play that one more time.
Everything with
'cause I
Marvel
didn't have it
nowadays
on the
is
screen.
multiverse and bringing back other
Right.
characters. We know
Right.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. Has that been a thing brought up?
It hasn't been brought up, but you know what? I'm going to bring it up because honestly, I love that character, and I wanted to do more of it. I found out they were going to go back in time to my time that I was in, I called and said, look, I really want to be in that. There is nothing I would rather do than reprise that role. I love that role. It's the greatest role in the world.
As you heard him say, no, there's been no discussion about it. Now, he could have been lying, as Andrew Garfield and the rest of them all lied about not being contacted and things like that. But I do believe him because, again, in the original plot leak, there was never anything mentioned about Beast. It was always that she was going to wake up to her mother, but there was never anything mentioned about Beast. And in my opinion, if you look at the work done on Kelsey Grammer's Beast compared to the Fox universe, where it was practical makeup, compared to the CGI that looks like the PS5 Spider-Man video game, you can tell that was not something that was ever planned. That was inserted at the toward the end or something like that.
I still think they were going to go. She was going to be in 838.
Yeah.
With her mom in the hospital, and that Captain Marvel didn't die from Wanda or whatever. But now they switched it to the Fox universe whenever Feige came out and said all this shit is canon. So I'm telling you, some deal worked out to where they're like, yeah, no, we're going back. We're just going to connect all this shit, bring the X-Men in sooner than later. Boom.
Yeah, and like I said, they did great. Great, like I said, good film. I encourage everyone to go see it. I really do. Again, I'm going to say it, just the unfortunate side effects of it is just not going to gross in the box office like that. Now, the question I was posing before I sidetracked myself there was, do we think by the second, third weekend with word of mouth, because it is a fun film, because it is, Mon Benali is charming. Brie Larson, I don't care what anybody says, is great as Carol Danvers in this film. And then you got what Tiana does as Monica. So with word of mouth, maybe, I know word of mouth for Marvel's not great right now, but with word of mouth, because Loki Season 2's viewership is not even half of what Season 1 was. So with word of mouth, though, do you think, and it being shorter and not being such a longer, I mean, the first film made $1 billion, like Q said, I don't know how the first one did. I'm not a fan of the first one like that, but I could, if one of the two were to make $1 billion, I would choose this one over the first one for sure any day. So I don't know. Do you, again, before we move to the last topic here, the Loki, do you think that with word of mouth it could generate some positivity for the box office?
I think by maybe 4th or 5th. I think it's going to take a minute, but yeah, I think for sure, definitely by the fourth weekend, it's going to definitely, because a lot of people are probably waiting for people like us, internet and real huge Marvel fans to go out and be like, yeah, this is good, go look at it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit, we said it since day one. I wouldn't switch up now. I don't think word of mouth going to do anything about it.
You don't think so?
I mean,
I don't either.
Niggas sitting at home not watching Loki.
Optimistic,
Yeah.
What can I say?
I mean, right.
We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that shit coming up. I just don't think niggas are going to see the Marvels for the family get together.
I agree.
But
I agree.
it's unfortunate. Hopefully that's what they're watching when they're at home and everything when it comes out. Because it was good.
It was.
Like I said, I'd definitely go to see it again. I wouldn't mind. I had fun.
I did. I had fun.
A lot better than I expected, especially just because I didn't really like the first one.
Yeah. So, like I said, I do encourage all, maybe people that have been listening to the box office and the negative reviews and things like that, there are moments that are corny. For me personally, there are moments, some of the dialogue and some of the things like Dar-Benn, there were things that I did not enjoy, but there was a lot more that I did enjoy than I did not enjoy. And as a Marvel fan that's been here since day one, since Endgame's ending and then on to now, to say that now, that's a positive. That's positive for me. For me personally, I have not spoken kindly about Marvel, so that's positive. But moving on here to the Loki season 2 finale, we'll stay in that same order that we went the last time there. Corey, your thoughts on the?
I really liked the last episode. I thought it brought a lot of things forward. I feel like it definitely ended a chapter on Loki, but also started a whole new one. I thought it was great. I thought Jonathan Majors did his thing in this one, as both the End of Time and
He Who Remains,
and Victor Timely. I thought Tom did great. Just all great. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I thought that was, compared to the last few shows that we've gotten and how they ended, I think this is the best ending to a series that we've gotten in a very long time for Marvel. And I thought it was great.
Enjoyed it?
Yes, I
Q.
did.
Q, your thoughts.
I swear.
Corey enjoyed it.
Yin
Q.
and yang right here. I don't know what's going on. Yin
That shit
and
was just
yang.
underwhelming as fuck. Like, I don't know. And are niggas supposed to be scared of Kang? Like, are they really gonna go through with getting rid of him? Because that's how it seems, if I'm being honest. That nigga is not no villain, fiery, boo-hooey. Like, all I've seen is that this nigga knows everything. Like, they haven't established any... In my opinion, I still think Quantumania established him more as the Conqueror and everything than...
I agree with that.
I like the philosophical and the dialogue that he gives off and all the... Like, the vibe is there. Like, the vibe of the villain. But it's like, I'm not fearing this nigga how he feared Thanos. And that's just how I have to compare them. Because they're both the big bads of the phases and everything. But, I mean... I said it last week. I said spoiler alert, y'all know. But I said I don't want this episode to start with Loki just time skipping back until he figures out how to do it. That's how he started, a 10-minute loop of him just going farther. And you know what happened whenever Doctor Strange did that? Consequences. So, I get this nigga's God. I really do. But I just feel like there has to be some sort of consequences from that. And
but
maybe
from who? We've discovered the TVA is a fraud.
Yeah.
Who's the? I mean, yeah, but
But he's in partnership with Kang, basically, at this point.
I mean, he is, but at the same time, this nigga, from my understanding, all he's doing right now is holding time together. Right?
Pretty much.
Holding all the branches together. Okay, so when do we see Loki again?
that's a great question.
Because in order for this nigga to get out, he'd have to, I guess, supplement something to hold the branches together.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So, me personally, episode was underwhelming. I don't like how they just ended the shit with Ravonna and the Void. I don't like how they just... I mean, the TVA is there now. I mean, Mobius isn't going to be there. I wish they would... I wish they would have went the route of killing Sylvie. That nigga has to make the hard decision of killing himself in order for the world to go on. That's just my personal opinion. This episode was underwhelming. The director said 5 and 6 were the best episodes. I think 4 was the best episode. Because in reality, all we did in this episode was in the MCU, we moved like 10 minutes. Like from the beginning to the... I don't get the 100 centuries later shit either. Because how does this how does this nigga keep going back farther and farther and then boom, 100 centuries later? Like, wouldn't the... go ahead. Go ahead.
Finish.
I'm just saying, how is he going 100 centuries later if the motive is that he's not doing it fast enough?
Right.
They're not connecting or doing whatever they need to do to move fast enough. And the answer was for him to go centuries ahead to become a Obi. And then they never established that he went back centuries to the same... So, I mean, maybe that is what happened and they just didn't establish it. That is most likely what happened. I just felt the episode was underwhelming.
Well, for me personally, I am going to go back to what the director said, for what everyone said, not just the directors. I think I said this when, and we'll discuss Echo tomorrow, but I think I said this whenever the stuff for Echo started to come out from scoopers like My Time to Shine Hello and Can We Get Some Toast and Casey Walsh and all the ones we always talk about, when they were all saying, like they always say, I just saw Echo, it's amazing. I just saw Hawkeye, it's amazing. I just saw Falcon and Winter Soldier, every single time something comes out, it's amazing, like this, what's his name, Soups put Marvel's dying, then, and I think an hour later, put out a video and said, I apologize, I'm sorry, Marvel. It's all of them, the shilling, they all like to do that. So I said all that to say, they said the same things about Loki episodes 5 and 6. Now, I understand that episode 5 for a lot of people wasn't... I did enjoy episode 5 last week. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like,
I did also.
I enjoyed episode 5 last week. It was more so of a learning episode than anything.
I was getting.
Yes, we knew what we were getting. It was more so of a learning episode. But to sit and say that episodes 5 and 6 are mind-blowing, my mind wasn't blown. Episode 4, like you said, to me was still the best episode of this season. The viewership for Loki season 2 is nowhere close to what the viewership was for Loki season 1. And I know a lot of people don't like when I talk numbers because that hurts a lot of feelings, but those are the facts.
Right.
Those are the facts. And it's not a thing like Marvel's dying. I'm not one of those people that are sitting here saying, oh, the ceiling's burning and Marvel's tumbling to the ground. I don't believe that. Or do I believe that, there are course corrections, things being made? Yes, but you've got to win people back at this point. Right. And by winning people back, that's going to be doing some of those things like Kevin Feige said earlier. He was asked, is Robert Downey Jr. coming back, and said, we've not discussed that. Well, lie again, because they definitely have. And that's why they're doing things like that, because they understand that to get asses in the seats, we've got to follow suit.
He said we didn't discuss it on the retreat.
Yeah, we didn't discuss it on the retreat, but it was discussed.
Right.
It was discussed. Like I've said so many times, you are smoking dick if you seriously believe that after Endgame it wasn't a discussion.
Right.
They knew where they were going after Endgame. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say it's not, with the viewership being down and that kind of parallels to the stuff for the Marvels, and it's what's going to more than likely happen to its box office and things like that. It was underwhelming. I was sitting there thinking about it afterward. When Q said it was underwhelming, I still think it was good, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. One of the things I definitely said as soon as it ended was I expected Kang. How many more projects are we going to get through before we see Kang? Because the last time I saw Kang, and like you said it too, I agree, the last time we saw him as a conqueror was Quantumania, but he got beat by ants.
Right.
Let's not forget, ants still beat this man. All right? So I don't want to see a victor, like he said, timely, stuttering. He Who Remains, the stuff they did with He Who Remains, that was dope. Having him come back and saying, how long are we going to do this? That was dope.
No, yeah.
But I want to see the conqueror. I want to see what is supposed to make the Avengers so scared.
Like, in my opinion, it would have been like Kang. They should have had He Who Remains persuade Loki that he has to kill Sylvie.
Yeah, and I agree with that too.
I don't know. I don't know why. It's not even the fact that I want Sylvie to die, but it's the fact that they established, we can do this all day. You're going to have to kill me to stop me. And then this nigga still does not do it. Why is this nigga so soft now?
But the thing
and I
is,
guess they want to owe the change in character.
Yeah, of course.
But
I said last week I don't want that.
That's
not
not
the Loki I want.
Is. There is no character arc where he meets himself and realizes, he loves himself so much because the female version of him is just this badass boss ass bitch or some shit. No, this nigga is deception. Yeah. This nigga is deception. He should have realized he has to deceive Sylvie. Sylvie has to die.
But see, we know all these things about Loki.
Right.
Because we've been doing this dance with Loki since the first Thor. We know these things about Loki. What you are supposed to be establishing is the conqueror. We know this about Loki.
Okay, but then that comes back to what I was going to ask. Do you think they went this route because
they're going to get rid of Jonathan Majors?
Yes.
I still don't think they're getting rid of Jonathan Majors. I really don't. I still don't think they're getting rid of Jonathan Majors. And the reason I don't think they're getting rid of Jonathan Majors just because of things, and maybe these scoopers could be wrong, but I'm more inclined to believe some of the things that these scoopers say, because 9 times out of 10, or 8 times out of 10, whatever you would like to say, they are typically right. My Time to Shine Hello said Jonathan Majors is going nowhere. Too much has been done so far with him that he's going nowhere. Now, in the event that he could be going somewhere, that could be something that they were doing. Maybe they were cutting a lot out because to get rid of him. But then how do you replace him? You just said no. They're not taking him anywhere because Hunter B-15, when she was taking the stuff to Mobius, said do his other variants know that we're tracking him? So Kang's going nowhere. But that's already established. But what you did not establish in this was the Conqueror. Again, like I was saying, how many more projects? Because how long have we been in Phase 5? We've known about Kang since Loki Season 1. How many more projects until you establish the big bad? Thanos was established from day one. Thanos wasn't having these major cameos, but you knew who was the overarching looming villain. You knew his presence was there every time. So when Thanos showed up and beat the fuck out of everybody, it made that impact so much more emotional for us as the viewer. When he comes and shows up and kills the motherfuckers we already don't care about, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, I care about Amon, but those other ones we don't give a fuck about because the Avengers, there's no Avengers team right now. So who is this man that has gone and killed all these Avengers from different realities? Why should our main universe be afraid of him? Why should any universe be afraid of him?
But if
Because
we
you've
go
not
back-
even shown why we should be afraid of him.
True, but if we go back to Quantum Mania, right?
What's in it?
Okay, true, but he got beaten by ants. But the whole point of him getting to Jill, right? Janet, was to find a way to get out of the
Right.
quantum theater. Like, so he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there. He's trapped in the loom, I guess, whatever the fuck that is.
But then
he's
that
trapped
just
in.
makes me ask you guys, like, why would you expect him to show up if he's trapped in a place?
Well, because I was expecting maybe not that Kang, but I was expecting a version of Kang to show up and be this menacing thing that Loki
That
was
makes sense. So
on his
afraid of
knees
him,
basically
yeah.
about at the end of season 1. You
But
know,
we went from fearing him to now replacing him.
yeah, it's just like my thing is, again, you just, I hate to always compare it, but in Star Wars, Palpatine is always in the shadows, always lurking, always pulling the strings, making shit happen. You know he's there. You fear, like, even you've watched it, and Tales of the Jedi with the stuff with Dooku, him being in the back, being that fucking puppeteer. That's what we should be seeing from Kang right now. Being that fucking puppeteer, being that fucking conqueror, being menacing, being scary. Like, I just don't, for me right now, whatever fucking team Sam puts together can beat him in Cap 4.
Yeah.
There's no, because you have not established him as the conqueror. And yeah, people could be saying, oh, well, maybe you're overdoing it, or there's still stuff to come. Yeah, there is still stuff to come.
Another thing, he's not going anywhere because I just thought they had the scene of, they went back of him as a kid, time
Oh,
as
yeah.
a kid, and
Yeah.
showed him the scene. They didn't drop the book
No, they
off.
didn't drop the book
Okay,
off.
so yeah, no. He's not going anywhere.
No.
But here's my thing. We went from not even like fearing him. The thing is, they're trying to establish him like he's there, but he's not there. Like, they're trying to make it seem like, are we going to have to go to other options and everything? When in reality, like, the whole point of He Who Remains is that he knows everything. I feel like we ended the show completely going against the grain. Like, this nigga didn't know Loki was going to do that. In my opinion, I don't think he knew that, Loki's going to go sit there and hold time together, and if he does, maybe that's what allows Kang to go and all his variants do this and that, and that's what starts. Because is there a use for him to be at the end of time anymore? No. I mean, shit. The timelines are good from what unless Deadpool they go and fuck some more shit up, but I just don't think that we can completely proceed into things not knowing like who the main threat is and everything after you've done so much galactic shit. Like, you've done Eternals, you've done Multiverse of Madness, you've done, even after the first Doctor Strange, the theory was that him doing like I said, those time loops have consequences. He has to pay for his actions.
Right.
Like I asked you after the Marvels, no incursion? I don't know what's happening. I mean, I guess the only thing that's happened so far is that the Fox universe has bled into our universe, and I don't know what Mobius said exactly when he got the papers and he said 616 and everything, but
He did something in 616, so I'm that was something I was trying to remember. I was trying to really pay attention to what he said there, because is that an event that was off screen? We missed that.
yeah, I don't remember what he said exactly.
Because-
I
I didn't get
watched
what
that.
he...
Kang's not been in the 616 to do shit, not that we've seen. So I'm like, I don't know. That must have been an off-screen thing. But overall, did I enjoy Loki season 2?
It was a
I
good day
did.
for Marvel. I did. Yeah, no. I enjoyed
Not
the
as much as
finale.
season 1. It was good. I enjoyed the
Season
finale.
one
It
was
was a good day
classic.
for Marvel, like you said.
Yeah.
I thought that for as far as something that they needed, but only going to be viewed by few, it was a good W for Marvel today.
Yeah.
It was
He
a
said
good W for
Ant-Man
Marvel
took
today.
care of 616K. Is that what he said?
Wait, what did he say?
Oh, is that what he said? Did he say that?
I don't know if that's the case. Ant-Man was mentioned a lot today. You know, Ant-Man has a daughter. Ant-Man took care. I don't know.
Oh, if that's
Not explicit. Yeah, I mean, okay, so that's what they were.
okay. Well, they were
at.
hinting at
Okay.
it. Okay, so does that then say that Scott's not in a time loop?
I guess so. Which is kind of weird in itself, because
If I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where we at in time. I watched
yeah, I'm a
these niggas
little
go
lost.
100 centuries later, then he time skip back, and if I'm being honest, I'm not gonna understand that shit if it doesn't have consequences. Like, yeah, I get it, maybe in this nigga's powers and under his belt and shit, but there's no way this nigga can just go back in time and save everything without. I mean, I guess that's what Kang does, so I guess it'll make sense if Loki can do it. I'm just speaking from the fact that that's not what I want.
I mean,
I don't want this nigga going back in time to save the day every time. This nigga's a villain. Like, if they save Doctor Strange to do that with the Time Stone or with some magic or some shit, cool. Loki, I want to see that nigga fuck niggas over. Like,
I mean, we've still got, like I said, we've still got a couple projects.
but I enjoyed
and
it.
things.
I'm not mad. I'm just stating my preference.
We still got a couple projects and things before, Kang Dynasty, before Secret Wars. So for them to be able to pull all of this together, I do still strongly believe, and I've never not believed, that Kevin Feige didn't have a plan for Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. I still believe that. But I still stand on that belief that there are a lot of plot holes and there are a lot of things that have to still be fixed up until then to make a lot of this stuff make sense. The last thing that I will say is the thing with Aman Vanali's Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld. That scene there we've talked about. We didn't talk about that scene, but we did talk about that scene. Not within the year, like here recently we've talked about that scene, but we did talk about the Young Avengers. Me specifically, when we brought up the multiversal Avengers team that's going to be taking on Kang, then we're going to have the Young Avengers team that's going to be taking on their version of Kang, then we're going to have the other Avengers team taking on, blah, 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 blah. That multiversal Avengers team is going to start getting built in Deadpool 3, which is what we've heard. Now, take that with a grain of salt. But we're starting to see the young Avengers now. That stuff from what and we'll talk about this tomorrow a little bit, is going to be happening in Agatha, and again with the spinoff, they're doing a spinoff of Wiccan. Wiccan is in that spinoff from what we know so far about. He's going to be going looking for his brother Tommy, but he's not going to be the only Young Avenger, even though he's not going to officially be a Young Avenger in that, not going to be the only Avenger looking for him. So it's going to be pretty interesting. That's also going to be adapting elements of Children's Crusade from what we've heard. We've also heard that that comic is going to play a major role in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars and things moving forward, and now it can. Remember, I said it didn't make sense before because there were so many characters but the X-Men are here now.
Right.
The X-Men are now, with Monica being in their universe, and now we know what's happening in Deadpool, the X-Men are going to be here. So you can use those, even though it's not the MCU proper X-Men, you can still use those X-Men to do your makeshift MCU version of Children's Crusade. You still don't have Doctor Doom, but, hey. And the last thing I'll say, too, with the whole thing of Wanda being dead and everything, I want to dive into this a little bit more tomorrow too. Wanda being dead and everything. Wanda's not dead. If you remember the events of Children's Crusade, Wanda was missing during Children's Crusade. Right. But when they found Wanda, she was found with Dr. Doom in Latveria. She was engaged to Dr. Doom. She had lost her memory of everything that happened. So that is something that Marvel could do. She, after the events of Multiverse of Madness, bringing down Wonder Gore, she could have lost her memory of everything that happened. And when they find her, wherever they find her, it could be it's going to be with Kang. I bet you it's going to be with Kang, because if we're to believe the rumor that Kang is going to use her as a plot, he's going to use her memory losses. I can help you get your kids.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm on to something.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe. So maybe, but we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. Any final thoughts from anybody?
No.
Did you guys see any pressing comments that anybody wanted to? Sorry guys, we don't really have a lot of time tonight because it is so late. Did you guys see any pressing comments from anybody that you wanted to read?
I know official Liam G has already watched it twice and is going to go see it again, talking about the Marvels.
Liam, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I knew you would.
Raptor, no, they didn't mention Frank. Xavier Phoenix, you dipped when the Loki discussion started. Cool. Marvelous. Did they nerf Monica? No, they didn't nerf her.
No, they didn't nerf her at all.
No.
I liked her so much I wanted more of her. Maybe that's
they
why
did
I
a
was
very good job.
They did such a good job. I think that's where I'm like, I kind of wanted more of her.
The phasing that she was doing was
Yeah.
dope. The her absorbing energy, it was all dope.
Yeah,
She
and
did good.
her intellect on everything. I think that's why I was like, I need more.
Hungry said, Kang lost to Ant-Man. I'm sorry, but you're in the next Thanos and lose to Ant-Man. Bring on Dr. Doom. I can't take Kang seriously. How come the Flash falls and shows blame in a bad creative and then marvels that is tracking lower? You scrolled, so I can't really see it. Doctor Doom with science and magic with the Scarlet Witch would be wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, but that is how it happens in Children's Crusade. Now, she doesn't end up marrying Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom was obviously using her, but she had lost her memory, and he had used that to his advantage, and they were engaged. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to use Doom. But if we were to believe the older rumor of Kang using Wanda, I bet you Kang replaces Doom in that story.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there.
Yeah. All right. So, Hungry said, I didn't know how Disney will balance these heroes after Secret Wars X-Men comes. Like, I can still see your obvious Spider-Man, Avengers, Hulk, Daredevil, and a couple other B and C listers. Yeah. I really think that Secret Wars is going to be crazy, though, with characters. I think Deadpool, as me and Q were talking about it earlier this week, it's definitely going to be an X-Men film.
Yeah.
Not just X-Men that we've already seen in the Fox universe, but X-Men that we have not seen in the Fox universe as well. So it's going to be pretty good film. But like I said, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight and everything. We will be back. Q and I will be, I'll for sure be back. Q possibly will be with me tomorrow, and we'll talk some more with you guys. Look for that stream probably more so in the afternoon, if anything. So we'll be back with you guys then. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. So and then we'll see you guys then. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. See you guys in the next video. Appreciate it. Peace out.
Soundstripe.